Maya had always been curious. The narrow streets of the city had stories hidden in every corner, but what caught her attention most were the old, forgotten doors and walls covered in moss. Today, she wandered farther than usual, her small backpack bouncing lightly on her shoulders as she followed the twisting alleys. The sun was bright, but in some corners, shadows hid secrets that only someone brave or perhaps foolish would seek. She stopped in front of a wooden door, old and half-broken, tucked behind a fallen stack of crates. Something about it felt different. She ran her fingers along the carved patterns and noticed a small keyhole, almost invisible in the dim shadow. Her heart raced. Could this be a passage to something no one has seen for decades, she whispered to herself. Just as she was about to push the door open, a voice startled her. Careful! That door hasn't been touched in years. Maya jumped and turned. A young man was leaning against the wall, notebook in hand. His clothes were practical, like someone who spent more time in tunnels than in offices. His brown hair fell slightly into his eyes, and there was a spark of amusement as he looked at her. I'm sorry, Maya said, stepping back. I didn't mean to. No worries, he said, smiling warmly. I'm Liam. I study these tunnels. Most people don't even know they exist. Maya's eyes widened. Tunnels. Under the city. Yes, Liam said. They go deep and twist in ways that even old maps can't show. I've been exploring them for months. You have a good eye to find this door. Something in his tone made her feel safe, even as curiosity burned in her chest. I've always loved exploring, she admitted. I never thought there could be tunnels beneath us. Could I see them? Liam studied her for a moment. It's not dangerous if you follow instructions. But it can be tricky. And sometimes, it's easy to get lost. Maya felt excitement mixing with a little fear. I don't mind. I want to see. He nodded. All right. But you must promise to trust me. Tunnels can be unexpected. She grinned. I promise. They pushed open the heavy wooden door together. Dust floated in the sunlight, and a cool, earthy smell came from inside. The entrance was narrow, but a faint light deeper in the tunnel hinted at what lay ahead. Maya stepped in, feeling the ground shift slightly beneath her feet. Liam followed, holding a lantern that cast a soft yellow glow on the walls. The walls were covered in ancient carvings. Strange symbols, animals, and patterns intertwined in ways that looked almost magical. Maya reached out to touch them, feeling the rough surface beneath her fingers. These are beautiful, she whispered. They tell stories, Liam said softly. Stories of people who came here long ago. Some were travelers, some were dreamers. They believed in leaving marks of their journeys, so others could follow. Maya's heart swelled with wonder. She felt like she had stepped into a hidden world, a secret history waiting to be discovered. She glanced at Liam and noticed how focused he was, how carefully he guided her through narrow passages and around uneven stones. There was a quiet confidence in him that made her trust him completely. As they moved deeper, the air grew cooler and the sounds of the city above faded. The tunnels twisted and turned, sometimes opening into small chambers. Maya's excitement grew with every step. She imagined the people who had walked here centuries ago, imagining their lives, their dreams, and the secrets they left behind. After a while, they stopped in a slightly larger chamber, where the ceiling arched high above. Liam set down his lantern and took out a small map. This is where we are, he said. Some of the tunnels go much deeper, but many have been blocked for safety. Still, there are passages that no one has fully explored. Maya leaned closer, tracing the lines on the map with her finger. Do you think we could find something special down there? Liam's eyes sparkled. Every tunnel has a story. And maybe, just maybe, we'll find one that's waiting for us. For a moment, the world outside the tunnels disappeared. There was only Maya, Liam, and the mysterious paths ahead. A thrill ran through her, a feeling of adventure that made her heart beat faster. She knew this was the start of something new, not just an exploration of tunnels, but perhaps of feelings she had never noticed before. Liam glanced at her, and in the dim light of the lantern, there was a quiet understanding between them. The journey had just begun, and neither of them knew what they would find. But one thing was certain, in these hidden tunnels, everything felt possible, and something unspoken was beginning to grow between them. The deeper Maya and Liam went, the cooler the air became, carrying the faint scent of damp earth and stone. Shadows danced along the walls from Liam's lantern, casting strange shapes over the carvings and twisting passages. Maya's heart beat faster with each step, a mix of excitement and nervousness she had never felt before. This way, Liam said, holding the lantern higher. He led her down a narrow tunnel, carefully placing each foot. Some of these passages are unstable. You must watch your step. Maya nodded, gripping her backpack straps tightly. I'll be careful, she said, trying to keep her voice steady despite the thrill coursing through her. The walls around them were covered in ancient symbols, some she could recognize as stars, others like abstract patterns. She ran her fingers lightly over the carvings, feeling the smooth grooves and imagining the hands that had made them centuries ago. Do you think these symbols mean something? She asked. Liam smiled. They are stories, really. Each one tells of a person, an event, or a dream. People used these tunnels not just for travel, but to leave messages for those who came after them. Maya's eyes widened. Messages for the future, that's beautiful. She glanced at him and noticed the quiet pride in his eyes, the way he carefully guided her, pointing out details others might miss. They came to a small chamber where the tunnel opened into a circular space. The ceiling was low, forcing them to bend slightly, and the floor was scattered with stones that made careful steps necessary. In the center of the room, a carved stone pedestal held a faded symbol of a bird in flight. This is special, Liam said softly. It's said that this symbol represents courage and hope. People who passed through here believed that it gave them strength. Maya stepped closer to the pedestal, tracing the bird's wings with her fingers. I think it feels magical, she said. Liam nodded, standing beside her. It's more than just a carving. It's a reminder that even in dark places, hope can exist. Sometimes you just have to look carefully to find it. Maya's heart stirred at his words. There was a calm strength in Liam, a confidence that made her feel safe even in this hidden world beneath the city. She realized that exploring these tunnels wasn't just about history or adventure, it was about trust, teamwork, and discovering something new together. They continued through the tunnels, twisting and turning, sometimes crawling through low passages, other times stepping over small streams of clear water that trickled through cracks in the stone. Each step brought a new discovery, carvings of animals she had never seen, faintly glowing stones embedded in the walls, and small chambers that felt like forgotten rooms of an ancient city. At one point, Maya slipped on a smooth stone, and Liam reached out instinctively, catching her by the arm. Careful, he said, steadying her. Thank you, she whispered, her cheeks warming. The close moment made her heart beat faster, and she realized that being here with him was more than just exciting, it was comforting. They reached a fork in the tunnel. Liam consulted a small map, carefully tracing the paths with his finger. "This way leads to a larger chamber," he said. "It might be safer for now, and we can rest before exploring further." Maya nodded, feeling a mix of relief and anticipation. As they walked, the walls became smoother, the tunnel wider, and the air slightly warmer. It was easier to breathe here, and she allowed herself to relax, her curiosity still pushing her forward. Finally, they entered the larger chamber. The ceiling arched high above them, and faint sunlight trickled in from a tiny opening far above. The floor was covered in soft moss, and the walls glimmered faintly from tiny crystals embedded in the stone. Maya took a deep breath. "It's beautiful," she said. Liam smiled, setting down the lantern. "These hidden spaces are treasures. Not many people get to see them." He gestured to the crystals and carvings. "Every tunnel, every chamber has a story. And we're writing our own story just by being here." Maya looked at him, her eyes bright. She felt a connection growing between them, subtle but undeniable. The tunnels had brought them together, and she knew that this was only the beginning of their journey, both in the hidden world beneath the city and in the bond that was slowly forming between them. As they sat on the mossy floor, sharing water and small pieces of bread, the shadows of the chamber seemed to embrace them. Outside, the city bustled with life, but down here, there was only the quiet, mysterious world of the tunnels and the promise of discoveries and moments that were theirs alone. Maya smiled at Liam. "I'm glad I found this door," she said softly. "So am I," he replied, meeting her gaze. And in the flickering light of the lantern, both of them felt that the tunnels had become more than a place to explore. They had become a place where something new, something meaningful, was beginning to grow. The soft glow of the lantern bounced off the walls as Maya and Liam ventured further into the tunnels. The air was still, filled with the faint scent of earth and stone, and every step seemed to echo through the labyrinth. Maya's eyes were wide with wonder, taking in the intricate carvings and the subtle patterns that twisted along the walls. Each symbol seemed to whisper a secret from long ago, and she felt as if she had stepped into a hidden world where time moved differently. "Look," Liam whispered, stopping suddenly. He pointed to a passage barely visible behind a cluster of smooth rocks. "I think we've found something special." Maya stepped closer, her heart racing. The passage was narrower than the others, but it led to a large chamber that opened like a hidden room beneath the city. The walls were covered in murals, painted long ago but still vivid in color. Scenes of people, animals, and celebrations stretched across the stone, telling stories of lives long forgotten. These are incredible," Maya breathed, running her fingers lightly over a mural of a young couple holding hands under a shining Sunday. "It feels alive." Liam nodded, his eyes tracing the lines of the artwork. "These murals tell the stories of love, friendship, and hope," he said softly. "People who lived here wanted their stories remembered, even if no one ever saw them again." Maya felt a shiver of excitement. There was something intimate about the chamber, a quiet sense that these stories were meant to be discovered by someone like her. She glanced at Liam, noticing how carefully he moved, as if he didn't want to disturb the past. The way he looked at the murals with reverence and curiosity made her heart feel light. They walked slowly along the walls, studying each painting. Some showed families celebrating harvests, others depicted travelers exploring the unknown. And then, near the far corner of the chamber, Maya noticed a mural unlike the others. It showed two figures, a man and a woman, standing side by side. Their eyes seemed to meet, and the colors around them glowed faintly in the lantern light. Above them, symbols twisted into patterns that she didn't recognize, but somehow felt familiar. "Who do you think they are?" Maya asked, her voice quiet. "I don't know," Liam admitted, crouching to study the symbols. "But the story looks important. Maybe they were the first people to discover these tunnels, or maybe they represent something more." Maya felt a strange pull toward the mural. There was something about the closeness of the figures, the way they leaned toward each other, that reminded her of the warmth she felt in Liam's presence. She glanced at him, and for a brief moment, their eyes met. A subtle understanding passed between them, a quiet connection that made the chamber feel even more magical. "Do you think," Maya began, unsure how to finish her thought. "Maybe," Liam said softly, smiling gently. "Maybe the tunnels are full of stories not just about discovery, but about feelings, trust, and connection. Like what we're experiencing right now." Her cheeks warmed at his words, and she turned back to the mural, feeling both shy and exhilarated. The tunnels had already shown her wonders of history, but now they were revealing something more personal, the possibility of friendship, trust, and maybe even love. They explored the rest of the chamber, discovering smaller murals hidden in corners and above archways. Each painting added layers to the story, showing lives intertwined, dreams shared, and moments of happiness frozen in time. Maya felt a sense of reverence and joy, knowing that she and Liam were part of this hidden story, if only for a brief moment. As they prepared to move on, Liam paused and handed Maya a small piece of paper and pencil. "I like to sketch what I see," he explained. "It helps me remember details that might fade. You can try, too, if you want." Maya hesitated, then accepted the pencil. She began to trace the lines of one mural, feeling calm and focused. Liam watched her with a soft smile, and she felt a strange happiness in his attention. It wasn't just the murals or the adventure, it was the shared experience, the quiet companionship in a place hidden from the world. For the first time, Maya realized that these tunnels were more than just passages beneath the city. They were spaces where people could discover stories, secrets, and even feelings that the outside world often hid. And as she glanced at Liam, she wondered if this hidden chamber had opened the first door to a story of their own, one waiting to be written, full of trust, curiosity, and something deeper that neither of them could yet name. With a shared nod, they left the chamber, careful not to disturb a single mural. The tunnel ahead was darker, narrower, and filled with the promise of further discovery. But for Maya, the murals lingered in her mind, not just as art, but as a reminder that love, in its quiet and patient way, could be found even in the most unexpected places. The tunnels ahead grew narrower, winding like a labyrinth. Maya and Liam moved carefully, their footsteps echoing softly against the stone walls. The air was cooler here, carrying the faint scent of damp earth and moss. Every corner seemed to hold a secret, and every shadow made Maya's heart beat faster. "This passage looks tricky," Liam said, holding the lantern high. "Some sections are unstable. We'll need to move slowly." Maya nodded, gripping her backpack straps. "I can do that," she said, trying to steady her excitement. They reached a part of the tunnel where the floor sloped steeply downward. Loose stones littered the ground, and a small stream trickled through a crack in the wall. Maya carefully stepped forward, testing each stone. Suddenly, one slipped beneath her foot. She let out a small gasp, but Liam's hand shot out instinctively, catching her wrist. "Careful," he said, steadying her. "Take it slow." "Thank you," Maya whispered, her cheeks warming. There was a brief moment of closeness that made her heart flutter. She realized that the tunnels were teaching her not just about history, but about trust in Liam, in herself, and in the journey ahead. As they continued, the tunnel narrowed further until it opened into a small chamber. The ceiling was low, and jagged rocks jutted out from the walls. At the far side, a narrow ledge stretched across a small chasm, just wide enough for one person to cross at a time. "We'll have to cross carefully," Liam said, setting down the lantern. "One step at a time." Maya peered over the edge, her stomach fluttering. The chasm wasn't very deep, but the uneven stones below made it seem more dangerous. She took a deep breath. "I can do this," she said to herself. "Remember," Liam said gently, "trust yourself. I'll be right here." Maya began to move across the ledge, placing each foot carefully. The stones wobbled slightly under her weight, but Liam's calm presence gave her confidence. Halfway across, she slipped again, and Liam reached out, holding her hand firmly. "You're okay," he said softly. "Just breathe." Maya focused on his voice, the warmth of his hand, and slowly, step by step, she reached the other side. She let out a small laugh of relief. "I did it," she said, smiling. "You did," Liam said, smiling back. "I knew you could." The small chamber had another challenge waiting, a set of large stones arranged like a puzzle. Each stone had carvings that hinted at the correct order to step on them. One wrong step, and they could get stuck in a loop of tunnels that led nowhere. Liam studied the carvings carefully. "Look," he said, pointing to the first stone. "We need to follow the pattern here. I'll guide you, but you must trust me." Maya nodded, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. Together, they stepped across the stones, moving slowly, discussing each step, and correcting themselves when needed. Their teamwork was precise, their trust growing with every careful move. Halfway through, Maya accidentally placed her foot on the wrong stone. The ground shifted slightly, and she froze. Liam quickly held her hand. "It's okay. We can adjust together. Don't worry." The reassurance in his voice calmed her. She smiled, squeezing his hand briefly before focusing again. Step by step, they completed the puzzle, finally reaching the other side. A soft cheer escaped both of them, filling the small chamber with warmth and laughter. "That was amazing," Maya said, her eyes sparkling. "We did it together." Liam smiled, brushing a small piece of dust from her shoulder. "Yes, we did. And that's what makes this special, working together, trusting each other, and discovering things we couldn't do alone." Maya's heart beat faster at his words. It wasn't just the challenge itself that made her feel alive, it was the shared experience, the trust, and the quiet moments between them. She realized that the tunnels had become more than a place of exploration. They were a place where bonds were formed, where friendship and perhaps something more could grow. They moved on, deeper into the tunnels, carrying with them the confidence of teamwork and the thrill of discovery. The first challenge had tested them, but it had also drawn them closer, and Maya couldn't help but feel that every step forward was leading not just to hidden chambers, but to a connection she was only beginning to understand. As they walked, the walls seemed to whisper encouragement, as if the tunnels themselves approved of their journey. And for Maya, the adventure was no longer just about finding hidden places, it was about finding someone to share them with, someone who could make even the darkest tunnels feel full of light. After the challenge, Maya and Liam moved deeper into the tunnels. The walls were smoother here, and the air felt lighter, almost fresh. Tiny cracks in the stone allowed faint beams of sunlight to peek through, guiding their way. Maya's steps were careful, but her excitement grew with every turn. The tunnels had already revealed wonders, but she felt something more was waiting. "This way," Liam said, pointing to a narrow passage. It was slightly hidden, almost like it wanted to remain a secret. He pushed aside a small rock, revealing a wooden door embedded in the stone. A faint light spilled through the cracks. Maya's eyes widened. "Do you think it's a room?" Liam smiled. "Maybe more than a room. Let's see." They entered together, stepping carefully over the threshold. As they walked further, the walls opened into a large, breathtaking chamber. Maya stopped in awe. Before her stretched a hidden garden, unlike anything she had imagined. Soft moss covered the ground, and delicate flowers of every color bloomed along the edges. A small stream meandered through the middle, the water sparkling as if catching every bit of light. The air was warm, fresh, and filled with the gentle scent of flowers. "It's magical," Maya whispered, her voice barely above the soft trickle of water. "It is," Liam agreed, his eyes scanning the beauty around them. "I've heard stories of this place, but I never thought it would be like this." Maya took a cautious step forward, feeling the mossy ground beneath her feet. She reached out to touch a flower, its petals soft and delicate. "It's like a secret world," she said, glancing at Liam. "A place untouched by time." He nodded. "It's hidden for a reason. People wanted it to remain private. Only those who truly explore get to see it." They walked along the stream, discovering small benches made of stone and carved patterns on the walls that seemed to tell quiet stories. Birds, long unseen, sang softly from hidden corners, adding a gentle melody to the serene place. Maya felt a calmness settle over her, a feeling she hadn't realized she needed until this moment. Do you come here often?" she asked softly, turning to Liam. He smiled, looking slightly shy. "Not often. Only when I want to think or sketch. It's peaceful, and inspiring. But now, I think it's even better with someone to share it with." Maya felt her cheeks warm. She looked at him and realized how much she enjoyed his presence. It wasn't just his knowledge or courage, it was his calm, thoughtful way of moving through the world, and the way he made her feel safe and valued. They found a small bench near the stream and sat down. Liam pulled out his notebook and began sketching the garden, his hands steady and confident. Maya watched for a moment, then picked up a small piece of charcoal and began to sketch the flowers she loved most. The act of creating together felt intimate, though they spoke little. Each glance, each smile, carried a quiet connection, and the garden seemed to embrace them, making the moment feel timeless. After a while, Maya spoke. "I never imagined a place like this existed beneath the city. It's amazing." Liam looked at her, his eyes soft. "It's a reward for those who are curious enough to find it. And I think, it's also a reminder that some treasures are meant to be shared." Maya's heart stirred at his words. She realized that the tunnels had already taught her many things: patience, trust, and courage. But this hidden garden was teaching her something new: how quiet moments, shared in the right place with the right person, could feel like magic. As the sunlight filtered through the tiny cracks above, casting gentle patterns on the floor, Maya and Liam shared stories of their lives. They laughed softly, revealing dreams, hopes, and memories. It was a gentle, tender exchange, and with every word, their bond grew stronger. For Maya, the hidden garden was no longer just a secret of the tunnels. It had become a place where she felt safe to be herself, where trust and curiosity blended with warmth and connection. And as she glanced at Liam, she realized that this shared discovery was more than just adventure. It was the beginning of something special, something neither of them could have predicted when they first stepped into the tunnels. They stayed there a while longer, walking along the stream, sketching, and talking. The garden felt alive, almost as if it had waited for them to find it. And in that hidden place, beneath the city, something quiet and beautiful began to grow between Maya and Liam, a bond built on trust, wonder, and the joy of discovering the unknown together. The hidden garden behind them, Maya and Liam returned to the tunnels, carrying the calm and magic of the secret space in their hearts. The path ahead was darker, narrower, and more mysterious than anything they had explored before. Each step echoed softly, reminding them that the tunnels were still alive with secrets waiting to be discovered. "This section is tricky," Liam said, holding the lantern higher. "We'll need to be careful. There's one last puzzle ahead that requires both of us to work together." Maya nodded, her fingers brushing the lantern for comfort. "I'm ready," she said, though a small flutter of nerves ran through her. She trusted Liam, but the unknown ahead made her pulse race with anticipation. As they moved deeper, the walls narrowed until they had to walk side by side, their shoulders almost touching. Maya noticed how natural it felt to be close to him, how his calm presence eased her nerves. The silence between them wasn't uncomfortable, it was warm, like the quiet before a new beginning. Finally, they reached a chamber with walls covered in faint carvings and symbols. In the center was a circular stone platform, surrounded by small stones that seemed to require a specific pattern to step on safely. Liam knelt down, examining the carvings. "This is the last puzzle," he explained. "One wrong step, and it could trigger a trap or lock us in a loop. We need to coordinate every move." Maya felt her heart beat faster. "Okay. I trust you," she said, giving him a small, encouraging smile. "And I trust you," Liam replied, his eyes meeting hers for a brief moment. Something unspoken passed between them, a connection that went beyond the tunnels, beyond the puzzles, and into their hearts. Step by step, they moved across the stones. Liam guided her with soft instructions, and Maya followed carefully, trusting his judgment. At one point, she slipped slightly, and Liam caught her hand firmly. "It's okay," he said softly. "I've got you." Maya's cheeks warmed. "Thank you," she whispered, her heart feeling both nervous and exhilarated. They continued together, carefully navigating the platform until they reached the other side safely. A small stone door opened slowly with a soft rumble, revealing a passage bathed in gentle light from above. They paused, breathing in relief and satisfaction. Maya looked at Liam, feeling a mixture of admiration and something deeper. "We did it," she said softly. "Yes," Liam replied, smiling. "We did. And I couldn't have done it without you." For a moment, the world around them seemed to disappear. The tunnels, the puzzles, and even the hidden garden faded into the background. It was just the two of them, standing close, feeling a quiet bond that had grown stronger with every challenge and discovery. Maya took a deep breath. "Liam, I need to tell you something." He tilted his head, curiosity in his eyes. "What is it?" I feel something for you," she said, her voice gentle but steady. "Being here, exploring. I didn't expect it, but I think I'm starting to care about you more than I realized." Liam's expression softened, and a warm smile spread across his face. "Maya. I've felt the same way," he admitted. I was waiting for the right moment to say it, and I think, maybe this is it. Her heart soared. The tunnels, the hidden chambers, and the secret garden had all brought them together, but this moment made everything real. They shared a quiet, tender smile, the kind that spoke volumes without words. I'm glad we found these tunnels together, Maya whispered, feeling the truth of her words deep in her heart. And I'm glad you were here with me, Liam replied softly, reaching out to brush a strand of hair from her face. You make everything better. Even the darkest tunnels feel brighter with you. Maya's cheeks warmed, and she looked down briefly before meeting his gaze again. There was a quiet understanding between them, a shared trust and affection that had grown from curiosity, teamwork, and the magic of discovery. For a long moment, they simply stood together, hands brushing, hearts quietly aligned. The tunnels around them were dark, but they felt a light inside, a bond that no hidden passage or challenge could ever take away. Finally, Liam nodded toward the passage ahead. Shall we see where this leads? He asked, smiling gently. Maya took his hand, feeling warmth and courage. Yes, she said. And together, they stepped forward, leaving the darkness behind and carrying with them the quiet joy of shared discovery, trust, and a connection that had grown stronger with every twist and turn of the tunnels. The tunnels began to widen as Maya and Liam moved forward, their hands still brushing together from their last shared moment. The challenges behind them had forged a bond stronger than either had expected. Every narrow passage, every hidden chamber, and every secret garden had brought them closer, not just as fellow explorers, but as friends who had discovered trust, courage, and something quietly magical in each other. A faint light appeared ahead, soft and golden. Maya's heart leapt. I think, that's the exit, she whispered, a smile spreading across her face. Liam nodded, his eyes reflecting the glow. Yes. We're almost out. Just a few more steps. They moved carefully, savoring each moment. The tunnels, once mysterious and dark, now felt like a storybook they had lived together. They remembered the carvings, the murals, and the hidden garden, each memory a marker of their journey. Maya realized that these tunnels had not only revealed the city's secrets, but also their own hearts. As they reached the final stretch, the tunnel opened onto a slope leading to a small wooden hatch. Light poured in from above, warm and inviting. Maya reached out to push it open, and Liam gently placed his hand over hers. Together, he asked. Together, she replied, feeling her heart flutter. They lifted the hatch and stepped out into the early morning sunlight. The city stretched before them, quiet and waking, unaware of the hidden world beneath its streets. Birds chirped, and a gentle breeze carried the scent of flowers from nearby gardens. For a moment, they both just stood there, breathing in the fresh air, feeling the warmth on their faces. Maya turned to Liam, her eyes shining. It's beautiful out here, but somehow, I think I'll miss the tunnels too. Liam smiled. The tunnels taught us a lot, didn't they? About history, adventure, and each other. He paused, taking her hand firmly. I'm glad we discovered them together. Maya felt a wave of happiness wash over her. Me too, she said softly. I never imagined that exploring old tunnels could lead to this. She gestured between them, letting the unspoken meaning linger in the air. They walked slowly along the quiet streets, still holding hands, sharing small smiles and gentle glances. The world above ground was ordinary in comparison to what they had seen, but to them, it felt full of possibilities. Every corner of the city seemed brighter, alive with the memory of hidden chambers, sparkling crystals, and the secret garden. Do you think people will ever discover the tunnels? Maya asked, looking thoughtful. Maybe, Liam said, but I think it's better this way. Some treasures are meant to stay hidden, just like some moments. And some discoveries are meant to be shared only with the right person. Maya squeezed his hand, feeling warmth spread through her chest. I'm glad I got to share them with you. They paused near a small fountain in the city square, the water sparkling in the sunlight. Liam turned to her, smiling softly. Maya, I know the tunnels were full of surprises, but the best surprise was you. I didn't expect to find someone who could make the journey so special. Maya felt her cheeks warm, but her heart was light. I feel the same, she admitted. Being with you made everything brighter. Even the darkest tunnels felt safe when you were there. For a long moment, they stood together in the gentle light of morning, the city around them alive and waking. Then Liam reached out and gently brushed a strand of hair from Maya's face. Their eyes met, full of unspoken feelings, trust, and hope. Slowly, naturally, they leaned closer, sharing a quiet, tender kiss, a promise of connection, adventure, and shared stories yet to come. When they pulled back, Maya laughed softly, a sound of pure joy. I think we're ready for more adventures, she said. Liam smiled, his eyes sparkling with the same excitement. Yes. The tunnels may be hidden, but our journey together is only beginning. Hand in hand, they walked through the city streets, the sunlight warming their faces. The tunnels beneath would always hold their secrets and memories, but the world above had become brighter, fuller, and more alive because they had discovered it together. As they disappeared down a quiet street, Maya felt a deep sense of happiness. She had started this journey with curiosity and wonder, but she was leaving it with something much greater, a bond built on trust, adventure, and the quiet magic of shared discovery. And with Liam by her side, she knew that whatever came next would be an adventure worth exploring together.